Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Football Friday, loaded slate, a lot of bowl games, a lot of NFL. We are going to talk incentive props in the NFL. And as always, I'm joined by Dan. Dan, give us the rundown, who we got. And by the way, who's yours?
Who's yours? Yeah, man. What a dominant win there. You're used to seeing that Alabama doing that to teams. The fact that the biggest beatdown that Alabama has had in competitive play here comes at the hands of Indiana, Andy. Oh my, I can't believe you're going Lakers colors today. I just would have ran it back with you. I wouldn't have taken that Indiana hoodie off for a goddamn week. Congratulations to anyone who bet that. If you were watching the show yesterday, Gianni said 7.5. Are you kidding me? I got a guy who I respect whose numbers say this should be 11.5-point favorites. That wouldn't have even been enough. So pays to watch here, folks. Any of you Hoosiers fans out there, drop in the chat because arguably the biggest win in Indiana football history, right? I mean,
well, like every win now is going to be the biggest win in our school's history. Like we don't have a lot of them.
That's a good point.
Every time we win, it's kind of the biggest win.
Go ahead.
I was talking about IU friends, and it was like Indiana's doing to Alabama what Alabama used to do to everyone.
Everyone. That was. They were certainly prepared, and they kicked off the old, if you get extra rest, you're screwed. The teams coming off of a bye were not doing great in the college football playoffs, and Signetti said, hold my pack of cigarettes. Here we go, gentlemen. Hell of a win there, Andy. And also, as you said, biggest win in Indiana's history is every week now. One of the bigger wins for the bankroll of Lane Kiffin is every time Ole Miss wins. I don't know if you saw that story that LSU is currently on the hook, that every time Ole Miss is winning, Lane Kiffin's getting a little bit more extra cash. I don't understand how that man always steps in shit and comes out smelling like roses, but impressive stuff.
Isn't it frustrating that we work so hard for everything, and then some people it's just everything turns up roses.
It is pretty wild. But today we got a jam-packed show. Of course, it is Football Friday. Yanni's going to be joining us in just a second. So, Rob, you're going to have some question answered regarding line move, this Texas State line move. Yanni's going to give you the Steam report coming up, and then we got Teddy covers. We're doing Sell Me, and not many great games to pick from. So saddle in. Marco will probably call me a sick freak because these guys are going to sell me on an NFL side and sell you and potentially win you a free-day flex pass coming up on the show. Also got a breakdown from Teddy coming in the NFL. We're going to talk a little Wake Forest and Mississippi State, the Mayo Bowl, one of the greatest bowls in history where we get to eat some mayo. And then Marco's going to shut things down for us. Holiday Bowl. That's Arizona taking on SMU. He's got to play in the Seahawks and 49ers. He'll talk sauce of the week all on the way. Andy and I are giving 5 NFL picks here. And of course, we're doing all around the world. I'm back with another WTF LFG NFL player prop edition. And Andy and I will also go over NFL player prop incentives, players who have to reach a certain amount of catches or yards to get and unlock parts of their contract that will get them a little bit of extra cash. Which ones are doable? Which ones don't matter? Which ones might not even see the field? We're going to break down all those player prop incentives for you right here on the show. So, Andy, that's a loaded Football Friday, buddy. We got to get right into it.
Let's do it. Let's bring on Gianni. Let's talk. Rob is asking, did the IU Indianapolis under hit? I think it hit by 20 points, Gianni. It was pretty much.
Well, it got there. It got there. It was the only premium play I released, a 4%. I told you, 2026 is going to be very, 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 very different. So far, kicked off the right way, stayed selective. Nice 4-0 in college football, 1-0 in college basketball, and just roll into the second, baby. A lot of good games today. We got multiple boards to work with.
Well, let's talk about the bowl games today. What are we seeing? We got games pretty much all day.
Yeah, well, Rice, Texas State's obvious. If you're betting for profit, then there's only one side to take, and it's Rice or leave it alone. If you don't like Rice, then just pass because it's too late to take Texas State, even if they go out there and win by 40 points. Again, I sound like a broken record, but I'll keep repeating the process because you could have just got minus 14.5, 15 on New Year's Eve. Why would you wait till today to lay minus 19, 20, where they got to win now by 3 touchdowns instead of 2 touchdowns? So it's a terrible bet, regardless of the situation. And again, when you get to the bowl games and you start hearing the narrative, these players aren't playing, this coach is gone, the market's going to overreact. And that's what you're looking at now. And yes, wise guys are on Texas State, but they're on Texas State at a much different number than what the public's betting them at. The guys that I work with, they laid the 11.5 and then 13.5. In fact, I didn't even get down because it moved so quickly. I couldn't even release it to subscribers. But right now I'm actually looking at the Rice side because I thought they were a little bit undervalued coming into this game. Remember, they had gotten blown out by like 48, 49 points in their final game, where on the flip side, Texas State's coming in, having won 3 straight, covered 2 of 3. And we know there's a lot of recency bias attached to the market when the bowl games roll around. So I think you're paying for that with Texas State. I don't think it's warranted, to be honest with you. If this got to 20 or 21 by 10 a.m., I'm taking the 21 with Rice. I don't think it's going to get there, so I'm probably going to just sit that one out. Navy, Cincinnati, another situation where players are out. Oh, real quickly, Texas State, I had that power rated. I had Texas State minus 11 before any of the players out. On if these two teams were solid on a regular Saturday afternoon on a neutral field, Texas State would be about a 10.5 point favorite. Now, Navy, Cincinnati, here's a situation where the narrative is nobody's playing for Cincinnati, and it's Navy's game to lose because Cincinnati power rated wise should be about a touchdown favorite. You're now looking at Navy as the touchdown favorite. So that's a 2 touchdown swing based on all the losses for Cincinnati. Quarterback, defensive players. Me and Andy were talking about that before going on air. It's stuck on 7. Surprised it's not up to 7.5. It did get to 7.5 in some spots. Obviously, that got picked off, maybe from those that got in early on the Navy side. But that's why they're sitting at 7 juiced. Also, the total opened about 53.5, has gone up to about 55, 56. Public and the Sharps are both on the over, so books are going to need the under there. I'm expecting a higher scoring game. Wake Forest, Mississippi State, pretty close power rated wise. I had Mississippi State about a 3.5 point favorite in this game. Difference of squads: Wake Forest, better defense; Mississippi State, better offense, and the much tougher strength of schedule. But this line stayed about the same, open 3. Now they're just adding juice to the Mississippi State side, but good two-way action from the recreational bettor. So I don't think that line's going to move. And then SMU, Arizona, we have a flip of the favorite. Arizona is the ranked team. SMU's the unranked team, but power rated wise, SMU's above Arizona. In fact, I have Arizona as the 32nd best team in college football, and I have SMU as the 22nd best team in college football. So I was not surprised to see that line flip, and I actually sent out SMU to my subscribers at plus 2.5. They're now minus 1.5. So we did their job. Is SMU going to go out there and do theirs? We'll find out. That over is also getting a lot of money already from the recreational bettors. No sharp money yet. If they get on the over as well, books are going to have a ton of risk because, again, that's the late game. And based on the earlier results, risk will start to pile up. And I think it'll be more on the total than the side because we're seeing good two-way action on Arizona and SMU. So that's the college football breakdown for today.
Are we seeing anything interesting in NFL with any of the lines move? You know me, I do props. They don't even have a lot of props out for Sunday. They're just saying we're not really sure what's going to happen in some of these games with who's sitting, who's playing. So I've got props out for Saturday, but nothing for Sunday. Anything the markets are telling us with any of these lines?
Yeah, and limits are really low. Again, this is why you got to be careful with NFL final week, and this is why even when we did bet on it, I said, no, we got to have a condensed show because you may have a best bet today, but come Sunday, based on a result early in the day, that opinion may change later because the line's going to change significantly based on early results. So you have to be very cautious, and that's what I'm seeing so far in the market. Bettors, sharper bettors taking advantage of that narrative. This team has nothing to play for. This team has stuff to play for. But here's what you got to pay attention to, because I've seen it over and over and over again every single year in the final year of the season. They start betting team A early in the week, and then game day they bet team B. So they have a nice 3, 4, 6 point middle in a lot of these sides and a lot of these totals. So they're not even legit positions. They're strictly getting out ahead of information. And then as the narrative forms, the line moves so significantly, they have a nice middle opening up. So be very cautious. Have conviction if you're going to fire the final week of the season. And more importantly, don't forget, the must-win situations, the bookmakers are well aware that teams are in must-win situations. And more times than not, they're adding premiums to those sides when a team has to win. And you're seeing it. You're seeing it this entire week. And a lot of big favorites. And the reason they're big favorites, Andy, is because historically teams quit when you have nothing to play for in the second half. That's why these lines continue to climb on Denver, on Jacksonville. New England got hit again today for -10, -11, -11.5. So those big double-digit favorites, they're going to continue to get money. I don't think you're going to see much take back the other way. So again, if you like some of those chalky favorites, you don't want to wait till Sunday. That number is only going to move in one direction.
I mean, I would think it'd be hard to justify these big underdogs like that. It's really hard to take like the Raiders. And
even though power rated wise, you may say, dude, that should be only 9.5, not 13.5. But you can't quantify motivation. If they find themselves down, 14 points in the third quarter, do they really care about coming back to win a meaningless game? It's like the preseason all over again.
Well, Gianni, I'm wondering too, and this is a great reason. Definitely tune in as we got last call coming up this weekend, because these lines probably will be quite different Sunday morning than they are now. So is this a case that unless you had something that you did have a strong conviction on, you thought, hey, it's going to be moving, is this a situation where if you don't have bets in already, you should probably be waiting until Sunday morning to bet?
100%. If you haven't got out ahead, wait and let the bettors knock some of these lines out of whack, because that's exactly what they're going to do, bro. They haven't even bet this NFL. They had college football playoffs yesterday. They had bowl games today. They have the NFL tomorrow, those 2 primetime games, and a bunch of college basketball. So they haven't really even spoken yet. Once they start betting these must-win teams, once they start betting these big favorites against those, bottom teams, those lines are going to move a lot more. You're absolutely right. So if you haven't gotten down on Monday or Tuesday of this week, wait till Sunday, but just be selective Sunday, because the lines are going to move a lot. But again, just be selective. That's the key, because we're a week away from every game mattering with the playoffs.
And the public money on Sunday morning is going to be crazy, because people are going to wake up, log on, wipe the sleep out of their eyes, and they're going to be like, oh my God, Green Bay's getting 8.5 against Minnesota. They're not going to be thinking about the fact that, Jordan Love isn't playing, this guy isn't playing. So this Sunday is going to be one of the most must watch, Steam report, obviously, that you can get if you're an all access client from Gianni, but the free show right before it, 11 a.m. Eastern time here. We're going to be having our last call show. So it's a must watch here for this Sunday is what it sounds like to me. Boy.
Yep. And Craig asked, should I wait on the Jets? That's a perfect example. I bet the Jets. I bet the Jets at +7.5 because I saw that they were looking for Jets. And I was like, this is going to go through that key number. And that's exactly what it did. It went to 6.5 and I was happy. We did our job. I wake up this morning and I'm looking at 8 on the board.
That Josh Allen's probably not going to play, and now it's 8. It's going to be Mitch Trubisky, and that was the thought. That was the maybe how it was going to go. Yeah.
And that's the negative of trying to beat the market to the information, that it will come back the other way sometimes, and you'll take the
and Teddy, who we have coming up, he warned people the opening line report on Monday mornings. He said, this is a freaking minefield you guys are about to be navigating in week 18. So, all these shows, guys, more reasons than ever. Hit that like button if you're liking what we're doing. Hit that subscribe button. You'll never miss any of them when they go live. Andy, I think I know it's Football Friday, but people want to know what's going on in the hardwood, right? So Gianni, you got anything?
Yeah.
College basketball, I know it's a little bit early, but we do have some afternoon games. NBA, even on the ice, NHL. What else are you seeing for the folks?
Perfect question, brother, because I narrowed down 5 sharp NBA, 5 sharp college basketball for you, and a couple NHL. And I'm going to throw a tennis that I sent out to subscribers about an hour ago, and it's on Stanislav Wawrinka, Wawrinka. We took plus 200, plus 190, good down to about plus 170. If you don't like the money line, then we also bet it at plus 2.5 on the run line, point line, call it what you will, at even money. So plus 2.5. But I sent it out to subscribers on the money line. We're running hot at plus 195. Now, NBA for you, 532, Washington, plus 1.5. I'm reading off the line that they were good to, all the way to. So Cleveland, good to minus 13. 541, Charlotte, good to plus 6.5. 544, Phoenix, minus 11.5. And 547, Memphis, plus the 5. College basketball, 539, Fairfield, minus 6. 851, Kennesaw, plus 8.5. 858, Middle Tennessee State, minus 6. 872, Iowa State, minus 17. And in the extra board, New Haven, plus the 1.5. NHL, St. Louis, plus 135 and over 5.5. And then Anaheim, plus 115. So you got NHL, college basketball, NBA, college football, NFL. You're ready to go for the next couple of days. Just make some money.
Love it. That's the goal. That's the point of the show. Gianni, thank you so much. What do you have up for everyone at WagerTalk?
I got a 3-pack for college football coming off a nice 4-0. That's already up and available. I have Saturday NFL with a 4%, maybe upgraded to a 5%. Sunday NFL package already up with 2 premium plays. And of course, the long-term guys team up with me for the year. And 2026 has started out well. We're going to stay selective. Steam rooms on Sunday for subscribers only, that final hour. We will go over the 2026 game plan along with risk management and all that good stuff. Best of luck to you all. Take your time. We got a long year ahead till December 31st rolls around and we see if we're profitable. So take your time, risk manage correctly, and watch WagerTalk Today. You'll do just fine.
Gianni the Greek, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck. Enjoy the weekend. A lot of action here, Dan.
Oh, yeah.
What was your take on the Bulls yesterday?
I mean, the college football action, I thought was largely underwhelming. I mean, I'm not a Hoosiers fan, you know what I mean? So I was rooting for you, but that Ole Miss and Georgia game, that was a classic, back and forth.
That was
fair
fun.
And low-key, I don't have a horse in the race for any of them. I just want who's ever cashing bets for me to continue cashing bets. But there is a part of me that's somewhat rooting for Ole Miss. As you could tell in the open, I don't have much love for Lane Kiffin. So if they could kind of, stick it to and at least make it to the championship, that would be a little, how you doing, Lane? Is I guess who I would be somewhat rooting.
I finally had an Ohio State fan. One of my friends called me last night. I've had one.
So we have proof of life. We have proof of life at least.
Yes. He crawled out from under the rock that he was in. He's a man. I got to admit it. Your team's is really, really good. I was like, that's very big of you. It's very big of you. So yes, but only one. Make no mistake.
Well, dude, also,
one.
how about the Big Ten? I mean, obviously, Oregon wasn't an original Big Tenner, but this is a conference that is certainly on the rise, and you're also seeing with this playoff specifically how NIL money has just leveled the playing field. I mean, you now have football factory academies as long as you have the bankroll for it,
Yeah.
or the commitments to it. Like in the case of Signetti, this is just good coaching, solid recruiting. It's not like they have insane blue chip players. That's just a football team that's really in sync right now.
Yeah, continuity. They said that coaching staff's been together 8 years. They just boop, boop, boop.
Makes
boop,
a difference.
Boop, move there. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Big day. Big weekend. I told you yesterday, don't get anything from me. Today, use the promo code NOW25 and get you 25% off. Today, we already have 3 NBA props up based on some lineups and some injuries. I'm going to ask Teddy about some NBA situation. We already have 3 of those up. And the big thing, we have a 5% best bet that goes off on Saturday in the NFL. So 25% off. Told you, get a 3-day pass from me. So go to wt.buzz/AL, get a 3-day pass. You'll get NHL props, you get NBA props, you get all of our NFL props, anything that we have over the weekend. Darts, we have darts today, so pretty excited about that. We're getting down to the finals in that one. So any darts plays we have for the next couple days, you'll get those. So use the promo code. Today's the day we fire. It's going to be a big day in NBA and an even bigger weekend in NFL. Two 5% winners in a row, Dan. We said we've been seeing NFL really good, so very, very
Let's
confident.
make it 3%. Let's make it 3 in a row. Here we go.
Let's do it. And then 4 in a row, and then 5 in a row.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go. We're opposite of full tilt. So yeah, that's over at wt.buzz/AL. Let's have a big weekend. All right, let's bring in the great Teddy Covers.
Oh yeah.
Teddy, breaking news: you might be playing center for the Denver Nuggets at this point.
Why not?
Every year, an NBA team seems to get bit by the injury bug. Is this Denver's year that they're in trouble?
Note what Denver did when Joker sat and Braun sat and Gordon sat and Strother sat. They won straight up in Toronto. And the quotes from Edelman, Coach Edelman after the game were, "We're good enough to win games with this roster. We'll be fine." So certainly we talk about Denver's window as a potential champion. Obviously, they need a healthy Joker and they need a healthy roster. But Denver is a competitive team. They're competitive right now, even without those guys in the lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do moving forward. I'm gonna talk about them in all around the world. So, but let's get going with some games here. Let's start with the Mayo Bowl. Is this the bowl where they dump the mayonnaise on the?
Unfortunately,
coach
yes.
After the. You thought the Pop-Tart Bowl was gimmicky. This one really, really takes the cake. So we got Wake Forest, we got Mississippi State. Teddy, what are we doing in the vaunted Mayo Bowl?
Yeah, this is a client play for me, and you'll get it here for free. Thank you for watching WagerTalk TV. Thank you for watching WagerTalk Today, and Happy New Year. It's been a great bowl season so far, entering Friday 8-2, 80% run in 2025 with the Bowls. So let's talk about the Bulldogs and the Demon Deacons right now. Looking at my Odds Logic live odds screen, pretty much painted 3. Mississippi State, there are a couple of 3.5s out there, so it's not painted 3, but it's mostly 3s. There are some 3.5s. Total sitting 53 as the prevailing number. And again, Mississippi State's a 5-7 team. The only reason they got to a bowl game was because other schools with better academic progress rates said, we don't want to go. And yet they're favored over the 8-4 team with a betting bandwagon. Wake was a moneymaker for their backers. Certainly they close out the season 7-2 ATS, their last 9 ball games. So it's one of those instances that the point spread's kind of telling you something. You know, the 5-7 team being favored over the team with the betting bandwagon. And Wake, they struggled to stop good offenses away from home. You know, they give up 49 to Duke, they give up 42 to Florida State, a pair of double-digit losses. This and Wake, of the 2 teams, Wake has more opt-out issues, most assuredly. You know, they're all ACC running back. Damon Claiborne is declared for the NFL draft. Their top wide receiver, Chris Barnes, who's also the kick returner, is entering the transfer portal. Micah Mays, another receiver, transferring. They've lost 5 starters since the end of the regular season, compared to only 2 for Mississippi State. And the starters they lost are impact players. And I watched Wake pull off a couple of upsets this year. I watched them beat SMU as 5-point home dogs. I watched them beat Virginia as 6.5-point dogs. Neither opponent played well in those games. Let's put it mildly. The Demon Deacons offense, as usual, was limited in those contests. And there's not a team that I really trust to hang points against a Mississippi team that has superior talent, superior athleticism, and plenty of motivation. First bowl game for Jeff Levy's Bulldogs. You know, thrilled to be here. They didn't go bowling last year or the year before. You know, and of course, they weren't expected to get a bid this year. They got one late because of the academic progress rate. Other teams declined the invite. They got a Frost 2V, Kamario Taylor. And this guy's a dual threat dynamo. More than 350 yards of offense in the season finale against Ole Miss, who looked pretty good here in the playoffs. And of course, when you talk about the record, what happened? Mississippi State lost to Ole Miss, Missouri, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, Texas A&M. Every one of those teams is power rated higher than any opponent on Wake Forest's schedule for the entire season. SEC teams chalk for good reason. Mississippi State or pass for this better. And yes, that is a client play for me on Friday night.
Nice. Giving out client plays. Teddy's going to break down Chargers, Broncos, and then we're going to do Sell Me. We got a great theme for Sell Me this week. I love your suggestion this week, Teddy. This should be a lot of fun here. But this Chargers Broncos game, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot hinging on this as far as playoff seeding, but it looks like the Chargers are not going to be playing anybody. So is this game going to be close? Are the Chargers going to have a fighting chance, or is this just Broncos in an old-fashioned butt whooping?
So I'm going to talk about the Chargers and Broncos, but I'm going to start by telling a Billy Walters story. And this is a true Billy Walters story. It was told to me, and I was not there personally, but it was told to me by a good friend who is a Boy Scout when it comes to telling the truth. I believe this story 100%. And there aren't many guys in the world. There probably aren't 10 guys in the world who can tell you a true Billy Walters story. That's why you watch WagerTalk Today. That's why you watch WagerTalk TV. That's why you subscribe to the WagerTalk YouTube channel for stories like this. All right. So it's a Week 17 game. This is 2013. I went back and looked it up. I was trying to remember what year it was. It was 2013. And, of course, Week 17 back then is the modern-day Week 18 because of the 16-game schedule in those days. The Chiefs were playing the Chargers. Phillip Rivers at quarterback for San Diego at the time. Lots of Phillip Rivers talk of late. Let's bring him up here. And KC was a classic. Nothing to play for and resting starters. They already clinched their playoff spot, and the Chargers needed a win to get into the playoffs. Line opened something like San Diego -4. It closed something like San Diego -17. Billy's crew bet it. Then they bet it again. Then the followers started betting. Billy took more. And part of the reason why Billy Walters, the famed gambler, was betting so much on this game, for the full season, he was down in the NFL. He was trying to get back to even. And this was the game he chose to go all in on. So even a professional bettor, the best bettor in the world, sometimes says, all right, I'm going to bet more than I should on a game. Again, -4 to -17. How'd the game play out? The Chargers won by a field goal in overtime. And that's only because KC missed the game-winning field goal at the end of regulation. Books kept all the money. The lesson, beware Week 18 must-wins. The other lesson, yes, teams will sit some starters, but it's a 53-man roster. There are 46 players active on game day. You can't really sit that many guys. You can't sit everybody, and nobody does. Last year, the Broncos won 38-0 in Week 18 versus Kansas City. All right, so there's certainly a groundswell of support for Denver just did this last year. I get it. And again, looking at the Odds Logic Live on screen right now, Denver -12.5. There are 13s out there, 13s at the sharpest books, 37.5 the total. So certainly bettors remember that 38-0 from last year's Broncos team. That being said, and of course, when the Chargers don't show up, they don't show up. The Jags game, I remember that game. That was ugly as it gets. 3 of their 5 losses have come by 2 touchdowns or more. And of course, nasty Denver weather, right? No. We've got highs in the 60s. Supposed to be a gorgeous day in Denver tomorrow. Trey Lance has won games in the NFL. He's 2-3 straight up, 3-2 against the spread as an NFL starter. All right. Yes, the Chargers will be sitting a good handful of guys. All right. You know, who do I got? I got Keenan Allen out, Derwin James, and a couple of linebackers. Khalil Mack's not going to play. Justin Herbert obviously not going to play. Marion Hampton's not likely to play. Everyone else going to play, most likely. You know, Denver, they need must win for Denver. They need the first round bye. Seeding is never a motivator. Have the Broncos been the type of team this year? You're like, oh yeah, let's lay 2 touchdowns with Denver. They're beating everybody by margin. No, they played up or down to the level of competition all year long. Full strength. My powering number for this game is Denver -2. You make case for Denver -2.5. All right. Chargers sitting a bunch of guys. I get it. Maybe you make it Denver 9.5 or 10. That's not 13, too much. And there's no urgency to bet the Chargers. The money's going to keep coming. We're not going to see a whole bunch of LA money, not unless something bizarre happens between now and kickoff. No surprise here, we get the 14 by Sunday. And at 14, Chargers a pass for this better.
Also, just remind people, Trey Lance was like a covering machine in preseason. He was like a fantastic bet on, because if nobody was open, he'd just run the ball and move the chains. He was a cash cow betting on in preseason. I like where you're going with that one, Teddy. Very, very, very slick breakdown. And I think the biggest point is just wait. You know where the number is going to keep moving, and you can be patient with this one.
And so this is 1 week. If you guys don't watch End Zone Live every Sunday, you should be. It's a whole lot of fun. All right. Because we're sitting there for the whole early games, all right, for 3.5 hours. We're sitting there. There's a whole group of us. It's not me. It's not Prez. There's always like 4, 5, 6 people in the chat, and we talk about football. We talk about the games. You make live bets. It really is fun. This Sunday is a week to watch, because the live betting opportunities this week are real. If you're watching the games, remember the algorithm is going to spit out point spreads. If you're watching the games, oh wow, he's about to. The starters here are going to sit. The starters there are going to play. There's interest here. Those are the type of things you can make money in game. So be sure, if you haven't subscribed to WagerTalk TV, subscribe. And this is one Sunday. Come hang out with us. It'll be fun for End Zone Live.
Yeah, 805 Noodles loves it. Live betting gold, he says. He's been tuning in these last few weeks, so we love that. And this will likely be the final edition of End Zone Live. So apropos that we got Teddy holding things down for him. Maybe we'll do a playoff edition. We'll gauge interest though. But yeah, End Zone Live this Sunday, starting around 12:45, and getting you ready to bet some live games. So should be a good one. Andy,
right.
What do you think? Should we
Let's
do a
do
little
it.
sell me? I mean, this is every week, even when I'm trying to pick, good matchups. Marco, who's coming on next, finds a way to call me a sick son of a gun. This week's tough because the one quantifier that we put on it, we said double-digit favorites. And typically in the NFL, you have one double-digit favorite on the board, maybe 2, 4 different games with double-digit spreads this week, guys. And I want to talk a divisional matchup, because I'm actually intrigued with how this season has ended for Tennessee. Tennessee early on in the season has just been auto-fade material. And really, Jacksonville has kind of exceeded their market expectation for sure with how well they have played down the stretch here. But Tennessee's been covering numbers with regularity. I know, the Saints get up on them last week, but we're looking at a 13, we'll call it, because that's basically what we're seeing out here, 13.5. And Teddy, you were the one who said you wanted to do double-digit spreads here. So you're telling me why a team in Jacksonville is going to be covering 13.5 points at home against a divisional opponent. Andy, you have the dog. But Teddy, make the case for me first here. Jacksonville, big chalk. Why is that the correct side?
So there's certainly no shortage of motivators for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have a chance to finish the season with the best record that I think they've ever had. It might have been one Mark Brunell year, Tony Buscella year back in but I think this would be if they win their 13th game, that's the best season that they ever had. So that's a motivator. But the bigger issue here is the Titans. All right, the Titans fought hard. They beat Kansas City 2 weeks ago. They fought hard last week, and what happened in the end? They found a way to blow it against New Orleans. We look at what this team has done. So you have a team that kind of a bottom tier team that, I'll phrase this politely, they've shot their load each of the last 2 weeks. I don't know if they have a third load in them. And when we look at Tennessee, kind of like Lang after a session, when we look at what they've done against divisional opponents this year, the teams that know them and hate them, they lost by 21 to Indy, by 26 to Houston. They lost by 24 to Indy in the rematch. They lost by 22 to to Jacksonville in the first meeting. They're not hanging tough with the division opponents. They're hanging tough against the teams that aren't paying attention. Jacksonville's paying attention. Lay it.
Lay it. And some load handicapping there. 1 load, sure. 2 loads, maybe. 3 loads, no way, Andy. What do you think? Barking dog here, maybe outright win? I mean, 13.5, that'd be a nice little money line cash. Sell me on that 13.5 point underdog, Andy.
Well, Jacksonville just needs to win. That's it. We saw last week. Clunky, but they get the job done against the Colts. But, 23-17. Lawrence made his typical boneheaded turnovers inside the 5-yard line, even though it was a great play by the defender. But they do dumb things at times, like running a hook and ladder. I have no idea where that play came from, but this is a Tennessee Titans team that I think they're hitting their stride. They've won 2 out of their last 4, and they honestly could have and maybe should have beat New Orleans. They let Chris Olave get loose too many times in that game. But this is a Jacksonville team that the passing game, I don't think is going to scare them too much. In Jacksonville, this is just cruise, get your win, get the division title. But the point spread is the ultimate the ultimate gift here at this double digit, because this just screams backdoor. We'll talk about loads. Look at the load coming in the back door, Teddy. With the fourth quarter, easy cover here. Cam Ward's playing for things. The Titans coaching staff is playing for things. Jacksonville's just playing for a little win. Give me the Titans.
Marco, for once, I'm not the sick man. I'm not the one bringing up loads in the handicap. So comment below, guys. This is your chance to win a free 3-day flex pass. If you agree with the side, we're grading it at 13.5. So just comment below Teddy and your WagerTalk username if you believe the Jags are going to cover this big number. If you think the Titans are live to cover this 13.5 and the load will be coming in the back door, comment below Andy with your WagerTalk username. The classiest edition of Sell Me ever, gentlemen. And Teddy, while you were talking, I went to look back. Last time that the Jags had a record like this, they were 14-2 in 1999 when they were still playing in the Central Division. Yeah, so they were still in the former Century Division, turning into the Central Division when they had a season like this. So interesting note there for you folks. The last time they were this good, they were playing in the Central. Teddy.
They made the AFC Championship game that year. That was the year where the Panthers and the Jaguars both made the champ. That was Kerry Collins for Carolina and Brunell for Jacksonville. Dude, I remember.
You did say Brunell years.
I remember stuff from 30 years ago better than I remember what I did yesterday. It's stupid.
Well, I know you at least remember that the promo code NEW25 ends tonight, Teddy. They can get 25% off anything over at your page, WT.buzz /TC. What are they going to find over there, brother?
Yeah, it's been a good run. You know, the last 3 weeks have been pretty good for the clients and I. Well over 60% across sports. The NBA has been solid. The Bulls have been really good. The NFL has been great. We have a 5% big ticket going on Saturday in the NFL. A rare 5% big ticket. Won my 5% big ticket last week. Expect to do it again this week. I did not expect to have a 5% big ticket in week 18. And yet, when the research says you're going to bet this, you're going to bet this large, that's what I do. So use that promo code NEW20. Is it NEW25 or NEW26?
Yep. NEW25.
Why are we having NEW25?
Well, because it's 25% off. So I think that's how they
gotcha. Promo code NEW25 will get you 25% off my 5% big ticket play. It'll get you 25% off my 3-pack, cross sport 3-pack on Friday for college hoops, NBA, and bowl action. It'll get you 25% off anything and everything on my page, w.buzz /TC. At checkout. NEW25. Best of luck. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Thanks, Teddy. We'll see you on Sunday, brother. Great work, man. And yes, I know Marco will be like, what the hell? What are you guys doing? Loads, back doors. Yeah.
Oops. On a good note, Dan, this is why you should be a all access subscriber. We just cashed a cricket play. Let's go. We got another one. And I mean, early morning cricket plays are just the best. They're just the best. Get your morning started off right. So appreciate that one. We got another cricket play that's going, but let's bring in Marco. We got to talk some college. We got to talk some pro. Got to talk some
Marco.
Week.
Kelly and VR have said way worse on Bet on It. Way worse.
Well, guys, late breaking news. There's a late injury report. I am sitting this show now for load management.
Now.
Well done. Well done. Mic drop by Marco right out the gate.
All right, Marco. You're not getting off that easy. We don't do load management around here. So if we
I'm
do
not getting
shows
off,
on New Year's
apparently.
Day, yeah, if we do shows on New Year's Day, we can fight through this.
Oh, Christ.
We gave you a couple games to break down, but the obvious question is, how are you feeling with your Steelers coming into this weekend?
Great question.
Scared shitless.
Yeah.
I sent a text to my buddies today and my nephews, and I said, really, to make that game on Sunday night put more spice to it, because the NFL pushed it they flexed it to the last game, because it's the one game where somebody's moving on and somebody's going home. There's no other factors involved. You win, you go home. So let's make it even more interesting. I think obviously the winner goes to the playoffs, but I think immediately following the conclusion of the game, whoever loses that game, the coach should be fired right there on the spot on national TV. I think that would make it great.
That'd be epic.
Both fan bases, I think, would be happy. And let's just go ahead and do it. Put some extra, juice in the game. You know what? I think that would raise, the eyebrows watching that game.
Loser immediately has to move and become the head coach of the New York Giants. That's really the punishment that nobody wants. And I think Marco might be onto something, Andy.
All right. Let's do the bowl game real quick. The Holiday Bowl, Arizona. Okay. SMU. Let's start with the Holiday Bowl, and then you get to break down the big time Seahawks 49ers. All right, what are we doing with this Holiday Bowl, Arizona and SMU?
Well, you look at this game, and both teams are coming in hot. Arizona's won 5 in a row. SMU finished the season winning 6 of their last 8 games. But if we look at Arizona's 5-game winning streak, guys, they were the benefactors of the turnover. They were on the plus side of a 14-4 turnover edge during that 5-game stretch. Also, they played, a softer schedule, in my opinion. We also see that their final game of the season was a very satisfying win for Arizona. Why? Well, they always have the season-ending rivalry game with Arizona State. The year before, Arizona State went to Arizona and beat the snot out of them. Well, they returned the favor, beating Arizona State at Arizona State in the season finale. So they're riding high. They're satisfied. I just don't see them as good as this SMU team. And if I look at the SMU team and I look at that 6-2 record, something stuck out to me. They finished the season winning 3 in a row, then they lost a game. Then they won 3 in a row again and lost the season finale. But if you look at both of the losses that they had, and I do the deli stuff and everything, go back and look at them. When they lost the first time after the 3-game winning streak, they lost at Wake Forest by 1 point, 13-12. But look at what the situation was. They were coming off beating Clemson the week before. And if you remember, Clemson beat them in the ACC championship game the year prior, and they had Miami on deck. That was a Marco Deli special spot for them to fall on their face. They did. They only lost by 1. Then look at their season-ending loss. What one did that come after? Well, they blew out Louisville 38-6. And then the reward was they had to travel cross-country to play at Cal for the season finale. Just 2 bad spots for them. But if you look at this SMU offense, last 3 games of the season, they put up 574 yards, 485 yards, and 477. I think they're the side here. I'm going to go ahead and take SMU plus the small number there. SMU gets it done in the Holiday Bowl. And if you're looking for a defensive game, this is not going to be it. This one should be a shootout.
And we're checking towards SMU, says Marco D'Angelo. Marco, before we get into this Seahawks and 49ers game that I'm super intrigued with, this is one that I've been flirting with for my pick 5, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you're thinking. But we've been promoting this new 25. I mean, a hell of a deal. It's expiring tonight. So at midnight is your last chance to take 25% off anything. And Marco, you've been seeing it well, man. What are folks going to find over at your page? And this is a no-brainer deal that, again, is ending in just a few hours.
Yeah, guys, and you can use it on anything. It could be on a daily package, a weekly package, monthly package, or grab a calendar year of your favorite cap or save 25%. Me personally, we've got a 5% going this weekend. I haven't had a 5% in the last 2 weeks. We're selective with them. Got one this week that I love a lot. And guys, when I release these 5% plays, the record going back to February, not of 2025, but of 2024, coming up almost 2 years here, we're 40-18 on these plays. 23 months of plays, 40-18 when I find a special 5% play. We got one of them going this weekend, so you can pick that up $35 by itself, or grab Weekend Warrior, grab a 7-day package, however you want to do it. Don't miss out on that big play this weekend. And of course, save yourself 25% if you buy a package before midnight tonight. 25% off. Use the coupon code NEW25.
Yep, absolute no-brainer there. All right, Marco, I want to get your thoughts here. Seattle and San Francisco, we talked, obviously about these big line moves and big swings that made double-digit favorites and everything. This is, just as arguably a bigger line move when you're talking about San Francisco, who opened at Pick'em, 1-point favorite, and now they're the dog at home against Seattle, two of the premier teams in the NFC. This has some major, potential playoff implications as far as it concerns that these two teams are two top teams here in the NFC. We're now seeing Seattle. They're up to 2.5-point favorites at some spot. Thoughts on the line move and thoughts on the game, Marco?
Well, the line tells you everything you need to know about this game, because the flavor of the month in the public's eye is San Francisco. Okay. Both teams have won 6 in a row, but you don't see people talking about Seattle the way they're talking about the 49ers. Because why? Well, the 49ers are flashy. They score a ton of points, and everybody loves offense. The problem here is the reason that they score so many points is the defense that has just been wrecked with injuries this year gives up almost as many points. That was an epic Sunday night football game last week between the Bears and the 49ers. Both teams going up and down the field. They kept answering scores. That was tied at every juncture until the final 2 scores of the game, the final 2 possessions. You had 7-7, 14-14, all the way up through 35-35. They kept tying the score. And then Chicago had to settle for a field goal on their last scoring opportunity. And then, of course, the 49ers got the touchdown. Bears still had one more shot late in the game, but couldn't convert. I like Seattle in this game. And the reason, I think they're the more complete team. And by complete, I say they have the defense. They're a top 5 defense in the NFL. And they can run the football. What are the 2 things you want when you're facing a team that can score at will like the 49ers? You want to slow that offense down, and you want to keep them off the field. Well, if you got a stellar defense, that's going to slow them down. If you got an offense that can run the football, that's going to keep them off the field. Now, anytime you look at Seattle, question's going to pop up, all right? And I get it, because he still had a couple of those type of games. We go back to the final 2 games of last season, the season finale when he was at Minnesota against the Lions, and then the playoff game against the Rams. Do we get Sam Darnold that we've seen for virtually 90% of the last 2 years, or do we see the Sam Darnold that we saw in a grand total of 3 or 4 games over the last 2 years? Everybody wants to say, oh, we don't want to see New York Jet Sam Darnold. We don't want to see Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. I get that. But, man, you look at the body of work for the last 2 years, he has done way more good than he's done bad. And he's got a running game that helps him. I like them. I think Seattle is a team that is built to make a deep run in the playoffs if they stay out of one of those games where you have 4 turnovers. And I don't see them having those type of turnovers against this San Francisco defense. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Seattle in this game. And as I said at the beginning, when this line right away was 1.5 Seattle early in the week. We saw that initial shift. That told me everything I need to know about this game, because the public's going to want San Francisco. And how many people, when you first saw that number, the first thing that went to your mind with as many points as they score, they're getting 1.5. That's an automatic. I know Kelly's got a whole pocket full of teasers with the 49ers. Okay. And that's what everybody is going to do with that game, because that's what the numbers say you're supposed to do. But that tells me a lot in a game this big, playing at home on their stage. And the fact that this is a Saturday game, I know they're at home 2 weeks in a row, but that extra day that Seattle, has, they both played on Sunday. Don't get me wrong, but the situation of they played that late Sunday night game and the type of game that it was, I just don't see them coming back in this one. I give the advantage to Seattle. And after going up and down the field, both offensively and defensively, San Francisco last week, they're going to get frustrated seeing some of those longer Seattle drives when Seattle has the ball. Give me Seattle.
Boom. Seattle is the thought there for Marco. Don't fear the line move. And no, we're not begging for likes. See, Mike even letting you know, hit that like button. We've given out so many free picks along the way. And big shout out to those who have been joining us all show long here as Wager Talk Insiders. Kimmy joining us. We got Joseph joining us. All of these new members. Guys, you join up with this Wager Talk Insider program. Super low price, and it gets you early access to all of our videos, like Marco's Deli, which has been absolutely smoking it this year. He gives you some sandwich spots, some trap spots, and that goes up early access for you. All you got to do, become a Wager Talk Insider, and it's a big way to say thanks for the work we do. But if you don't want to join up, like button and subscribe. That's all we're asking for. I know we're going to get some likes coming in right now, because this is one of my favorite parts of the week when we let Marco off the chain and we get to talk the wing sauce of the week. Well, Marco, the floor is yours, my friend.
Stay here, Dan, because I'm gonna be asking both of you guys a question. Last week I pivoted, and New Year's I'm going to do one more pivot, and I want to ask you, and I want to ask the viewers, jump into the chat box, because I moved to, I love food. Okay, obviously that's why we have Marco's Deli. And by the way, the deli will be out this morning. We did do a special edition of the deli. We got it in last week. 3-0 with the deli. So we got 3 more for you guys this week. But we want to go food theme. And I want to ask you guys, because since I moved to Vegas, I thought this was, a tradition everywhere. But I found out that it wasn't. And people look at me like I'm crazy. Do either of you guys have a food tradition for New Year's that you do every year? I'm going to go to you first, Dan, because there's more of a chance of you hitting this one than Andy.
Well, the old staple. You can't have luck in the new year if you don't start off with pork and sauerkraut. That's what we do in Pennsylvania. Pork and sauerkraut, baby. That's what you got to do. No luck in the new year if you don't have pork and sauerkraut.
People look at me when I talk about that out here.
I mean, you saw Andy's face.
Talking about? What are you talking about? They've never heard of it, Dan.
No.
So,
my family's all German. We know how to get down on sauerkraut.
And that's what brought it to Pennsylvania. It was the German nationality brought it, Pennsylvania Dutch, and it's a big thing all across Pennsylvania. And when I come out here, people look at me like I have 3 heads when I say I'm making pork and sauerkraut.
Well, because it's not like the normal. I mean, let's be real. It's a very pungent post, but it is a great hangover cure. I will say, surprisingly, you would think, oh no, I can't possibly. Good punch there, but yeah, people don't get it out here. You say pork and sauerkraut, and they really do look at you like you're crazy. But that was the thing, Marco. Pork and sauerkraut. You head on over to grandma's place, head on over to grandpa's place, and you always have pork and sauerkraut. And for those who don't cook at home, diners will randomly do pork and sauerkraut that day. Restaurants will have it on the menu. It's a whole thing. You cannot escape the smell of sauerkraut in Pennsylvania the day after New Year's. That's for sure, Marco.
My wife hates when I do that because she's a Las Vegas native, and she looks at me like
what
a
the
baby.
hell are we doing?
And I
What
stink
is
the
this?
entire house up. She calls it sauerkraut, pork and sauerkraut, because it smells the entire house up. But let me know in the comments. I want to see you guys and how many people do have that, because it is in the tradition with it is, as you said, it's good luck, it's prosperity into the new year and everything. And I've done it every year, guys. I will not miss that because I am superstitious as well.
Yeah,
and I do like pork and sauerkraut. I do like it, so no problem.
Marco's clients, they don't mind. They say, Marco, you better eat that damn pork and sauerkraut because I'm trying to get this winner this week.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Sorry for me gearing off track there, but hey, if you guys can be talking about loads, I can talk about sauerkraut.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, you are the owner, Marco. You could talk about whatever the hell you want on here. So pork and sauerkraut's mild compared to what we have. But I love it, man. One more time, let folks know what you have up. Great segment as always, man.
All right, guys, hit the Marco's Deli, guys, and I really do want to thank all you guys and wish you a happy new year. You guys have really helped that show grow over the last 2 years. We didn't know how it was going to work out, and we have fun with eating the sandwiches and everything. And yes, the deli probably has pork and sauerkraut sandwiches today. So head on over there because I got a lot of but we got 3 plays for you, and then be sure to check out that 5% play this weekend. And now college football, we only got a couple games left, and now I am into the time of the basketball season that I love. I love college basketball conference play. That's where my bread and butter is. We're there now. We'll have basketball every day, college and NBA, and the hockey is still running well. So grab a package. The bigger the package you grab, with that 25% off, the bigger the savings for you guys. And thanks for everything. And everything you guys have done for the entire channel. We appreciate you guys watching all of 2025 and looking forward to an even bigger 2026 with all the shows here on WagerTalk TV.
Love it. Appreciate you, Marco. And yes, the deli is opening up at 3 p.m. Eastern time today. But those of you who are WagerTalk insiders, you have access to it right now. So before those lines moved, low price for you. You can get in on Marco's Deli right now. The deli is open. And it's open, Andy, because you can smell that sauerkraut in the air.
If you've never cooked sauerkraut, your house smells for days,
for years.
Man.
Yeah, that's why it's good luck. The luck lingers on until the smell leaves.
The luck and the smell lingers on all year long. All right,
I believe that's a Cranberries song. I believe sauerkraut linger.
All right, let's do some free plays. Get people started on their weekend early. So again, guys, promo code NEW25 works for everything. I told you guys, don't buy anything from me yesterday. Buy it today. We've already cashed a cricket play. We got another one that is pending right now. 3 NBA best bets are already up. 5% NFL bet is up. So anything that we have over the next 3 days, you get 25% off. It's going to be a huge weekend. These are plays that we've already bet and locked in. So partner up with us. This is going to be a huge, huge weekend. Love week 18. So you want to do WTF LFG?
Yeah, we'll throw that in there because it'll actually tie into when we're breaking down and giving our thoughts here for some of these player prop incentives. So WTF or LFG, I give a play. Andy says if he's following or fading. We didn't have a play yesterday, so we're still sitting at 10-4. So let's make it 11-4. I'm actually looking towards a player prop this weekend. And Andy, these books know the player prop incentives because the one that I'm actually betting is one where the number is higher than what he actually has to attain. It is the running back for the Tennessee Titans, one of the few that are actually out right now. He needs 66 yards to be cashing about $250,000 bonus that will be heading Tony Pollard's way. The reason why I went with this one, Andy, even though the market number is sitting around and we'll grade it at 67.5, which is a yard higher than what he actually needs, the Titans aren't in a position where once he gets it, they're going to pull him out, right? And this is something that he's been hitting with regularity. Tony Pollard in the last 4 games has actually been averaging just over 85 yards per game. The usage is there. where they're playing off against the Jags. Sure, it's a 13.5-point favorite, so you're wondering how much is he going to be rushing. Tennessee doesn't have any designs of we need this game to be in the playoffs. The game plan will be what it is, and that's let Cam Ward shine in moments, also backed up with running volume. So I think the volume's going to be there for Pollard. I think Jacksonville, sure, they have, as Teddy said, some motivation, but not enough to, be shutting down a guy completely. You could see maybe some lackadaisical tackling. So Tony Pollard, over 67.5 yards. That's the play for me.
Yeah, this has been a client play the last couple of weeks for us, so it's clearly going to be an LFG. Tony Pollard over his rushing. I would actually add to that, he also has an incentive for 2 touchdowns. You can get him 11-1.
Oh, wow.
2 touchdowns. Yeah, he's plus 160 on DraftKings anytime, 11-1 for 2. So you could.
I mean, 11-1, you have to do it. You know what I mean? Right. And at least at plus 160, maybe you alt line his rushing total and then you add it in with just 1 touchdown. You're going to be getting plus 205 on that probably. So I like that, Andy. Good look.
Let's do the rest of the incentives here real quick. Sam Darnold needs 3 passing touchdowns and 150 passing yards. 3 touchdown passes is plus 267, but they're playing for bigger things. They're not going to screw around.
Agreed.
I mean, it would have to be just like a blowout for Seattle.
Yeah, I bet he has more incentives regarding playoff wins than he does getting his 3 touchdowns in the regular season.
Keenan Allen needs 6 receptions and 2 touchdowns. I don't know how much he's going to play in this one. Aaron Rodgers needs to win. But I mean, there's not much you can do about that.
Yeah, I think that's already built in. If Aaron Rodgers is on the sideline being like, guys, we got to get this win, so I hit my incentive. You've missed the plot, Mr. Rodgers. I think you have a little bit more something to play for.
Your guy Saquon needs 87 scrimmage yards for a contract. Dawson Knox needs 7 yards and 1 touchdown, and Khalil Shakir needs 1 touchdown. That's interesting. Those 2 are interesting because that game just probably doesn't mean a whole lot. And
both of the games don't really mean a lot. In the case of Saquon, I don't even think he's going to see a snap. So
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, they're resting Jalen Hurts. They're resting a bunch of different starters. I would be very surprised if Saquon, who has quite the lucrative contract, is saying, "Let me go in against the team in Washington who he pissed off 2 weeks ago, who would probably be looking to put some thumps on some players." I don't expect to see Saquon. The other one. Do you trust Mitchell Trubisky to get his? I mean, the Knox one's interesting because what do we think? Backup quarterback goes to the tight end. How much does Knox play, though? That's another question.
Yeah. Hunter Henry needs 5 receptions. I could see that one. That's pretty obtainable. And, of course, the big one, Myles Garrett needs a sack. For the record, he's going up against the Bengals, I believe. So those are some to look at.
I like the Hunter Henry one as well because I think New England, while they're playing off against Miami here, they are going to be playing their starters. They technically still are fighting for that, that top seed potential. And I think because of the bad game that Matt Stafford just has, I think organizationally they see we could get Drake May being an MVP. This is the type of organization that cares about those kind of things. So taking over player props in New England in a week that I'm more looking towards unders or really picking specific spots or incentives, that's one that makes sense. Henry is a feature in this offense and May likely will be playing the whole game and looking to pad stats against a Miami defense who's just been so streaky.
Yeah. All right. So those are your incentives. Let's do all around the world, and then we'll do our pick 5, and we'll get out of here. We're going to go to NFL props, and then we'll do an NBA. I mentioned one of them is going to involve the Nuggets. Look at this Panthers-Buccaneers game. Bryce Young over 17.5 rushing. This guy has really started to rush pretty well and effectively as the season has gotten better. He's gone over in 4 straight games. And out of his 5 longest runs this season, 4 were in his last 4 games. He had 20 a few games ago against Tampa. So Bryce Young over 17.5 rushing. Bruce, I saw you in the chat. You brought up Kendrick Bourne. This number is really confusing to me. This is like, what do the books know that I don't? Kendrick Bourne, they put his receiving number at 7.5. He's had 17 plus in 3 straight. Kittle's questionable. Pearsall's questionable. Christian McCaffrey's clearly banged up. Those guys are going to play in a must-win. The Seattle defense is putting all their focus on those other guys. Kendrick Bourne just needs one catch, and he should get over here. Nuggets and Cavs, I'm looking at this Nuggets team under their team total, Dan. Nuggets, yeah, they won their last game, but they only scored 106 points in that game. So they have no Jokic, they have no Valanciunas, they have no Christian Braun, they have no Aaron Gordon. I mean, those four right there, and add another player, Dan, that's a 42-win team. They're literally missing a starting NBA team. So Cleveland, third best defensive rating the last 5 games. I think the Nuggets struggled to score tonight. They're starting a guy at center that barely plays. So this is a tough spot for him. So those are your free plays. Let's do the pick 5. All right.
Indeed. Let us, Andy. What do you got this week for the pick 5? Because I thought it was really tough to find 5 NFL sides in a week like this.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm going to go the Panthers at the Bucks. This Bucks team is cratered. Baker Mayfield is clearly not healthy. Panthers are Jekyll and Hyde. You never know what you're going to get, but you could take the points, or if you're going to bet on the Panthers, might as well take the money line. But this is a fade of the Bucks, who have just absolutely fallen apart at the worst part of the year. I am going to buy into the 49ers against the Seahawks.
Yeah, me too.
This has got Sam Darnold falls apart written all over it. And who's playing better at quarterback than Brock Purdy right now? Guy looks absolutely fantastic. So I have talked all week about, I have the Saints season win total that I was terrified about. They're sitting Olave, they're sitting Vele, the Falcons. This is a coaching staff for the Falcons that's coaching for their jobs. Kirk Cousins is playing well, and this is a Saints team. It looks like they're going to really struggle to move the ball. So not only am I not going to hedge out of that Saints season win, I'm going to take the Falcons -3. I think they lay the smack down. I'm going to take the Cardinals here. The Rams, there's a lot of weird stuff going on with this Rams team. McVay said he wasn't happy about how his team played, and no, we're going to play in the last week. I'm not buying it, Dan. I'm not buying that you're going to put Matt Stafford out there. So this has got like Cardinals cover in the fourth quarter against the third stringers for the Rams. And then the Raiders are just openly, they want to lose. Like they're just like, we've thrown in the towel. So, I mean, they've thrown in the towel. Gino's throwing to the wrong team. Their backup is in. The coaching staff is so the Chiefs -5. They're going to have some players that they want to get a look at for next year. So I'll take the Chiefs -5. What do you got?
I like it, Andy. A lot of agreement with some slight disagreements here. I like that San Francisco pick for the same reasons that you mentioned there. I get it. It's a public play, but I'm with you. I like San Francisco. What they have been able to do with no horses this entire season has likely made Shanahan a major coach of the year candidate. And now they got their guys back. Their offense looks like they're humming. I know that's the public whatever. I know Seattle's good on the road. 1.5 and taking them up in a teaser is a no-brainer. I'm on the other side of this Las Vegas game simply because organizationally they are tanking. They forced players out. They said, Max Crosby, you're not allowed to play. The frustration in that locker room. This is a team that is going to want to say F you to Mark Davis and this ownership group because they haven't put anything behind them. They make the Raiders a joke because people are still going to go to the game because it's in Vegas. Pete Carroll, master motivator. KC, they've never been limping into an end of the year quite like this. I think it could be a 3-point game there. So give me Las Vegas. One thing I will say, Andy, you were pointing out that Carolina game. I know exactly how this is going to go. It's not one of my picks, but I wanted to mention it. Tampa Bay is going to win that game by a last-second field goal to win by 1. Carolina is still going to cover. Tampa Bay is then going to be like, all right, we're scoreboard watching now. The Falcons are going to absolutely smoke the Saints, and the Panthers will be in the playoffs because of it. Book that. That's the NFC finish of the year. If you want to somehow find a way to parlay that all together, that's how I think it's going to go down.
That's a great one.
Marco's afraid of his Pittsburgh team. I'm not. Bring Lamar Jackson back. Don't bring Lamar Jackson back. It's been all kinds of distractions for this team. Pittsburgh, I would argue, has the better defense at this point in the year. Getting 3.5 at home against Baltimore. I think they win that game outright. Cleveland, I just want to fade this Cleveland team. Sure, get your sack record. Cincinnati's playing for nothing, but they're playing for fun. Does Joe Burrow want to come back or not? This could be Joe Burrow's last game if he pulls a Andrew Luck. So in his last game, he's going to be going out there and flying. And I say last game, tongue in cheek, of course. 7.5. We're not afraid of it. That line's telling a story. And then I'm even fine laying the hook with New Orleans. I think this Atlanta team, dude, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but do you understand that Atlanta, once they're eliminated, is like 65% or something like that straight up? Like once they get eliminated, they become the greatest team to ever play football.
Best team in football.
It's insane. So I think the fact that there is a hook out there is telling us with how many people, how New Orleans on the back end of this year has become a public play. The fact that a book like Circa Sports is more than happy laying a hook, that sounds like a margin win for me for the Atlanta Falcons against the New Orleans Saints. So that's my pick 5, Andy. Great week of shows, brother.
It was great. Yeah, the power rankings in the NFL, it's like Bills, Patriots, Rams, Falcons when they're eliminated. Those are your top 4 power rankings.
The 4 horsemen of the what the hell apocalypse. Yeah,
absolutely. So, all right, guys, we're running late, but thank you so much for joining us. Again, please hit the like button. Really helps the algorithm. And again, the promo code we've been talking about all day, new 25, get you 25% off. Lock in that 3-day pass from me. That's over at WT.buzz. Take 25% off. We got our NBA props loaded. We got a 5% NFL best bet that's loaded. 2 straight 5% winners in the NFL. Looking forward to a big weekend. We've already cashed earlier today in cricket. That's what you get. You get every single play that we're playing and all of our long-term all-access clients are getting. So, Dan, thank you so much. Let's have a big weekend. Monday, we're going to be back to do it all over again. Dan, make sure you watch Stranger Things over the weekend.
I'm watching the finale tonight, Andy. Watching the finale tonight, baby.
Let's go. It's 2 hour, 10 minute. It's a long one.
I'm locking in. Ordering pizza for Pizza Friday, watching the Stranger Things finale. That's the move.
Love it. Thanks so much, guys. Good luck on all your bets. Let's have a big weekend, and we'll see everyone same time, same place. Monday, good luck.